Hello class, let's look at chapter 5 in our security class, and we talk in this chapter about endpoint vulnerabilities. Those are things connected to a network, printers, computers, things of that nature. Then the various types of attacks we need to be concerned about, and then the defenses. Now, the whole idea of security is that there's kind of a continuum of how convenient the information is for the users and how secure it is. And we kind of walk that fine line to make sure we keep the information available, yet we keep it secured at the same time, in transit and at rest in whatever condition that information happens to be in. So this chapter talks about, let's check into the module introduction, three big concepts, the different types of attacks using malware. We think about keyloggers that track your keystrokes, Trojan horses, masquerade as one thing, maybe a Word document, yet there's something else. And one of the scarier types of problems is ransomware. Where data gets encrypted and you're asked to pay some crypto money to get the password to unencrypt the data so that you can use it. Kind of scary. And I think you're familiar with a lot of these concepts of ransomware, and we talk about how do we keep our system safe? Well, we're careful about where we click on the internet. We're careful what we download, and we have some kind of antivirus software on our computer. Hopefully we're on a secure network, not a shared public network, Wi-Fi, but a secure network. At home, if we're at an airport or a hotel, we make sure we don't log into bank accounts and things like that on those types of networks. But a couple of things you can do with Windows. Windows has antivirus software. It comes with Microsoft Defender. And surprisingly, it has ransomware protection. So I thought what I'd do is kind of show it to you. So this is it. I've gone to, if you go to Windows Security, you bring this up and notice the green check marks. It looks like my system is somewhat secure. Let's go to virus and threat protection. And lo and behold, down here, Manus ransomware protection. So we click on that. I don't have folders control. I could check, I could check on that and turn these on and decide, okay, do you want to, yes, allow this to do something to my computer. I could turn this on, I can set up certain folders that nothing can touch the data. For instance, Microsoft documents, except for the Microsoft application, right? It controls what can get access to those data. And I'm not configured mine yet, so I'm going to turn it off, but I will look at it later. I'm thinking I might want to do that for, documents and photos and things like that. Not so much photos, I have those backed up, but documents and things of that nature. If you're in a business, you're going to want to protect, your payroll, employee information, anywhere where credit cards and passwords are stored in all of those areas, so that only the programs that create that kind of data can get access to that data, not some kind of ransomware program that's trying to encrypt a file. It would be stopped. So Windows Defender does have that included. I do want to show you a picture. Let me bring this up here. I'm running on a PC, so I'm not showing you a Mac, but this is the Mac operating system. And if I go into System Preferences, I'll get this area here where I can control different features of the Mac system. But then if I then go into Security and Privacy, I get this window. And oddly enough, by default on the Mac, the firewall is turned off. Now, if you're just using it at home and you're not going on other networks and you're really careful where you're going online with that Mac computer, probably okay. When you turn on a firewall, it's inspecting data and packets, and you'll get a hit in performance. It's very slight, but it may slow it down slightly. However, it's probably a good thing to turn on. Sometimes you have to click on the lock to unlock it, make a change, turn the firewall on, and then lock it again. So for Mac users, they're pretty secure systems, but I would suggest maybe looking at the Preferences, Security and Privacy option, come down here and turn that firewall on just to protect yourself on the Mac. So those are some things we can do. This is a short chapter, but it talks about, endpoint protection, and some of the other suggestions in this chapter, which are really great, are to harden your system. So that's a new term. What does that mean? Well, that means applying the security patches and security updates to your system to your router, to your operating system. All those devices that protect your network do the updates when they're suggested. Sometimes they're what we call zero-day exploits, where this malicious code is in the wild today. It's locked and loaded, ready to do some damage to your system. We don't want that, so you got to patch it right away. It's really critical to patch your system as often as the patches are available to keep everything secure. Okay, so let me close that window. Let me close my ransomware area on my computer. Do think about it. I think you'll like it. And then if you go to the summary down here, you'll see that it does talk about malware, what it is. It talks about ransomware, how it kidnaps your data, other categories, and it talks about the keystroke logger and watching what's happening on your system. Categories of malware that can affect your system. Your system, when it comes from the store, many times it has programs loaded on it, like a 30-day trial of this or that, and that's kind of bloatware is what that is. And I think we wrap up with getting into some more enterprise type things, this intrusion detection type systems, which if you're a big company, you would have a security appliance, something separate that just manages and looks for these types of attacks that are happening to your network. So take a look at it. It's a short chapter, but it's good, and it covers a lot of stuff you've probably had in computer concepts class. But I think you'll like it. So that's it for now. And give me a question if you have anything. All right, bye for now.